Probably live now.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think we are. I
Live
think we're
stream in
live.
progress.
All right. So welcome to the House of Static,
Welcome to the second iteration of the Porch of Static, where I watched the sunset since last week or last time we did this. I realized you guys couldn't see it anyway, so why would I put my back to it if you guys couldn't see it?
right. Okay. Well, there you go. So does anybody get to see it? Oh, you get to see it
I get to see it.
because nobody could see it anyway. So why not you, right?
Right.
I got you. I got you. That's cool. Oh my God, no! What's going on there? The hair's out of control. It's taking over the whole head.
Maybe we should just cut it all off, Bob, and then we'll never have this problem again.
Exactly. So anyway, we are doing this this evening because well, I don't know, because I wanted to say hi to Kilo, I guess.
And because it's Thursday.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe not Thursday for you while you're watching it, but it's Thursday for us right now.
Right. I feel like we usually do this when we have some kind of announcement to make, and we kind of do, right? Because we have a schedule now for some releases coming up. So now we know when things are coming out, and that's pretty exciting because some of them, like the remix of Queen of My Life by Liberty C, aka Katja Cruz, that'll be coming out. Our mix of her song will be coming out on September 30th, right? Yes. And so that's going to be really cool. That's, I mean, really, really cool. I'm very, very excited about that one. And we've got a whole bunch of others. We mapped it all out, right? We had
and you and King Matt Black's new song, Fluke, come out before that on the 23rd.
Yep.
And then, after that,
we'll have Low Tide Funk will be coming out, which is it'll be coming out as it's really Kilo and I together doing a song. But you gotta pick some every time you release it. So this one will be, the other one will be out Kilo. This one will be
the original. So
yeah, right, exactly. It's a remix. It started as a remix of one of my originals. Actually, the first song I released as the Static Dive, like in 2018 or whatever, and it was this instrumental called Low Tide Funk, and I always kind of liked it, but it was kind of unfinished. There's this bass line and a drum loop and like some synths. It was kind of nothing much more to it than that. But we took those parts and just Bill Arquillo did, and then built on it. And then, I added more parts, added guitars and everything else. And it just grew into this completely different monster. It's wonderful.
That's the one that you gave me guitar, and then you were like, use the guitar if you want. And now that's like the entire theme of the song.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I did not build on it, really. I just took an idea you had for it and made it
like an improvised, like, just jammy kind of ideas, which was the best. That was the greatest part of it, is that it was just, and then what it turned into is this kind of big, like, festival house tune, you know what I mean? But like a jazz house tune. It's got like this big festival house feel to it, but then there's all this jazz instrumentation going on beneath, and it's groovy. It's a cool.
If you want to explain what the name is and why, we came up with it today, and we might forget.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, you're talking about Low Tide Funk, right? Yeah. Oh, Low Tide Funk, but the name of the mix, right? So, so the story of the song is that it's there's a place I go every year on vacation in Maine. It's York Beach, Maine. I get my girlfriend and my kid, my mom and I, we go out there. And where we stay is like a little peninsula, and there's two beaches on either side of us, and there's Short Sands Beach and there's Long Sands Beach. And Short Sands Beach is sort of quieter, kind of family, kind of, older people, people like me with kids and stuff. They hang out there. And then Long Sands Beach is a bit more of a party atmosphere. There's more of a boardwalk there, and there's some bars and stuff. So that's how the York Beach is kind of split up. And So anyway, the song was inspired by Low Tide at Short Sands because it's a very kind of low tide. I mean, I don't live on the ocean, but I like to go to it, so I'm a little bit familiar, from these kind of things. And I lived in Florida for a while. But anyway, low tide it's a different kind of mood entirely. It's like this melancholy kind of funky kind of groove. I feel I always felt like that because usually it's like sun's going down, like 2 or 3 people on this big expansive beach and then you got a bunch of mud puddles around where there used to be these crashing waves. So it's just real kind of funky, kind of chill mode. And that's what I wanted to capture with the song. So anyway, now we've got this same song, but it kind of became this bigger festival fun, like super energetic version of that initial vision. And so now I figured it's just kind of the flip side. It's the other beach. It's the party beach. So when Short Sands is, chilled out for low tide because all the grown-ups have gone home and, they're making dinner for their kids. Long Sands is, that's when the party gets started and the bars and everything else. So it's a different vibe. So our new mix is going to be Low Tide Funk, Long Sands mix. So that's the story.
Why am I getting a warning? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Whatever.
Maybe are you on battery or something? Is something about to die?
It's Zoom. If Zoom has to have a battery every time, I don't think that's good.
I don't know.
Okay, so yes, that is a very cool reason to name the song that. Dude, there's a giant airplane. Holy fuck! PS like airplane because I live near an airport and like I get to see them take off through the sunset.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Anyway, if you see me staring off, nothing bad is happening. Oh no, then something bad is happening.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Okay, so back to what you were saying, I never really thought of this. Does low tide happen every day?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't really
by the beach.
Well, you live a lot closer to the beach than I do,
but I don't live, like on the beach, so I never really thought about it.
Yeah, but yeah, it is every day. There's like cycles through the course of a day. I think like 12-hour cycles of like when the tide goes in and the tide goes out. And now I don't know. I mean, I've heard it was the moon. I've heard it was the winds. I have no idea what controls it, but it is a cyclical thing.
The moon.
Yeah, sure. I'm down with the moon. Right on. But gravity of some sort is causing this. You know what I mean? Whether it's the Earth's gravity or the moon's gravity or the two, knocking each other around.
We were talking about gravity earlier today.
We were indeed, and there's a lot to talk about with gravity, right?
Do you really know what gravity is yet, or are we still like it's a force in the universe that's not strong, but not strong?
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody could. I mean, I've always my hair's starting to lose control here now. I don't think there's like a definitive definition of what gravity is. I mean, it's one of the forces of the universe. It's a weak natural, right? Is weak natural force is what it is, or weak elemental force, whatever. But it is one of the most powerful in the sense that it has such an impact on literally everything in existence. You know what I mean? From like matter, the difference between matter and energy is just the gravity that's being pulled, that's holding it all together. It's pretty wild. Anyway, and
not trying to get too philosophical, but since I'm staring at the sunset, I will. Like, isn't that interesting how like it's a weak natural force, yet it does so much. Like,
right.
It does as much as it needs to affect everything, and then it's like, yeah, there's that. It's not like like if you have too much gravity, right? You would become like a black hole, right? Or no? I don't know science.
Well, right. So a black hole, the heart of a black hole, the center of a black hole is the singularity is, and I'll probably get some terminology wrong, but anyway, it's a singular point at the center of a black hole that is of such dramatic and infinite, nearly infinite mass, whatever, that it has such gravity that it pulls everything toward it. and it pulls it at such intensity that it accelerates things faster than the speed of light, which is impossible within the laws of our universe, but it is exactly what's happening in a black hole. Even light is accelerated faster than the speed of light. That's why there's blackness there. Nothing escapes a black hole. And it all goes to, and theoretically, it all goes down to one singular, I don't know, molecular or subatomic point where it just got this intensely infinite mass, which kind of sounds like, the Big Bang, right? It sounds like that's where what happened at the Big Bang.
I think there is a scientific theory out there that kind of talks about that. Not
right.
the word science.
What's on the other side of a black hole, right? I mean,
right,
that's
exactly like, which I don't think we could ever figure that out, right? I mean, we can't like send a mic like a
well, again, if you think about it, everything, if all of the theories are true, right, then everything that's going into a black hole is ultimately condensed down to a singular subatomic point. So no, you wouldn't survive that very well, probably.
no, not
because
a person, like a camera.
Right. Oh, I don't think anything would survive, but I suppose you could capture it as long as it could. The thing also about the black hole is that because of the intense gravity, and because time is really not a thing, and it's just completely relative to your point in space in the universe and your speed and everything else, and the gravitational pull upon you and what's pulling upon you, right? All those things affect how you perceive time. So when you're in a black hole, when you've crossed the event horizon, which is the point of no return of a black hole, like there's that's the circle, that's the outside circle of a black hole, and the black in the center is the singularity, or whatever they call it. And so anyway, once you've crossed the event horizon, then time is dramatically altered for you. So, and I believe how it would work, right, is that while you're there, to you, you're just spinning down toward a black hole as you would expect to, and then ultimately to your death. But or to whatever transformation you would go through in a black hole, right? But from an observer outside of the event horizon, you're just standing still, or nearly standing still. You're going incredibly slow. And it's because the faster, the closer you get to the speed of light, the time slows down. Like time slows as you approach the speed of light until it would theoretically stop at the point of at the speed of light. But also, being that we are made of mass at the speed of light, we would mathematically, theoretically be infinite mass, I believe. And I'm probably getting a lot of these things wrong, but I'm pretty close.
I'm sure we're getting lots of this wrong, but we're
right. But anyway, obviously infinite mass is impossible. So by mathematically, it's impossible to do what a black hole does, but it does it. So explain.
So maybe either our math is wrong, or it doesn't do anything remotely like we think it does.
Right. Or, somebody has figured out the answers is in the time since the 30 years since I read the book that I'm, paraphrasing now. You know what I mean? So it could be that too.
Yeah. They were saying in a documentary thing I was watching last night that, like, if you were in the event horizon, it would be as if you got to see the end of the universe itself, because time is slowing down for the person that's going through the black hole as well. So you would be able to sit there in theory and watch the entire billion of years of this universe just end, as if it's like no big deal. Like time is completely different from even that side. So
right.
That's
it's
cool.
Just wild. It just blows your mind, the whole the concept of it, which is the point. The universe is not there for us to understand. It's not. It's not. It doesn't have to make sense to us. That's not its job.
What if I mean, why would it make sense to us? I don't know.
I'm
looking out here and I'm looking at like
dust.
The dusk or whatever it's called, and then like blue sky up here, orange down here, and I'm like, like we just see it like this, and that's cool and it's beautiful, but like out there, this is not out there.
I mean, right.
Just from our perspective. So I guess we can make things, even if it makes sense to us from our limited perspective, it still probably doesn't have anything to do with what actually is going on.
You know, what you just said reminds me of is the song of your song, our song, you know, that will be coming out in a few weeks.
Oh yeah.
Fluke, right? Because Fluke's got the cool quotes from
Alan.
Mr. Alan Watts, right? Exactly. And he says a lot of this stuff. He says, you know, we're already out in space, you know, way out. And that
Yeah,
was
right.
right. Yeah,
Exactly. I think it's funny, and I know we're science ports of static tonight, but whatever.
yeah, right. Exactly. Where'd we go? How'd we get here? But it's fun, you know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We don't have, I mean, whoever's watching right now that thinks we're going to talk about science next week is going to be really disappointed. But whatever. I think it's funny that we always talk about things from our perspective outward, right? We're like,
Right.
oh yeah, the universe is like constantly expanding away from us. Away from us, like, are you sure we're not part of the away part?
Right.
Like, because I keep hearing that, and I think that's interestingly stupid, right? Are
I-
we thinking we're the center of it, like we thought we were the center of the solar system a long time ago?
Well, you know, I think there's probably two ways to look at it, right? Or two ways you could go with it, right? Like, so, I mean, of course, everything and any being in the universe is going to observe the universe from their perspective, right? That is just that is the whole point of the theory of relativity and everything else. Like you know, existence is what it is from your point of view. But you know, you go over there, might be a whole lot different if somebody's going a little faster or slower, or they're taller or shorter or whatever. So anyway, so like that's okay that we do that, right? As long as I think that we understand that we're doing it and why. You know, that we don't put ourselves, we don't say, "Oh, well, this is the way we view the universe, so this must be the way the universe absolutely is and it's built there just for us."
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like that's kind of the leap that humans tend to make. It's like you can get to the point where you go, okay, I get it. I'm looking at this thing from my point of view. And that means I'm right. You know, that's, I don't know how we go there, but that's what they do.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Right.
I said, anyway, I don't know.
Oh,
I jumped off my soapbox there.
No, you were gonna say two different ways of looking at it. You said,
Oh, well, I guess well, what I was saying is that there were two different ways of looking at what you were saying. And one was, yeah, you know, but both start with the fact that, you know, there's no escaping the fact that that we are all looking at the universe from our own perspective. Like there's no way to get away from that. So the two ways to look at it are to like understand that, you know, and live it and be like, all right, that's my that's my view of the universe. And I understand that I'm only one little like pebble amongst the billions and billions of stars and all that. Or you could look at that and say, I see the universe this way, so that must be the way the universe is, and I'm right, and anybody else that disagrees with me is wrong. I mean, those are like kind of the two ways humans tend to go, you know?
right.
And
I mean,
so,
and if you really think about it, we can also talk about that. It's like we each see the universe through our own perspective too, from where we're sitting right now. Everybody. So like when what's cool about art and music, and they say art is in the eye of the beholder or the ear if you're deaf, I guess. But like is that like even when some person writes something, it's never gonna be portrayed exactly the way that you meant it as the artist. Meaning
right, of course,
the
yeah,
painter, like, or a poet or an author or anything, because of the way your brain actually like has been brought up,
yeah,
not really, but like constructed through time, you're gonna see it as the person making it differently than the way any other human ever is gonna see it, right?
yeah. You know, here I have two great examples from our like the last couple days of our life, you know, our working
Days
together.
of our lives.
Days of our lives, yeah.
Next week.
No, but like a few days ago, we were talking about some way of my really old stuff from when I was like in high school and in college, and And so I sent you that link to like hundreds of songs, and you were checking them out, and you found one you really liked, and you were like, oh, we got to make this. And the point is, you're like, this is totally metal. And I'm like, I always thought that was like sort of a country kind of alternative rock thing, like REM, you know, kind of a twangy kind of REM.
Bro. Play the song.
I can't. Oh, geez.
Find it and play it because it's so good.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't say it was bad. I liked the song.
No, I think it sounds like Aussie metal, like that kind of metal.
Just
Just
so funny, but it's got that like hoedown guitar. It's that down and down.
I don't think we're talking about the same song, bro.
We totally are, man. We totally are. Hold on. All right.
I can't wait for whoever.
We're talking about Can't Say Why, right?
All right. Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna get it. So anyway, so while I'm looking for it, I can tell you I had two examples of recently. So there's that one where you're like, that's totally Black Sabbath. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And the other is the song that we're doing right now that I was actually just playing for you. Like, I wrote this we have this little experiment. We can go into the details of the experiment after, but but anyway, so I send my stuff over to Kilo, and he plays back. He listens to it and then calls me up, and he's like, "It sounds like Ghostbusters." So I'm like, "Ghostbusters," and I'm like, I'm thinking I wrote this kind of groovy, like kind of organic, kind of funk thing going on in Ghostbusters. It was really funny, and so I mean that's
granted. I did basically speed it up double time, so there is that. But still, it still to me sounds kind of like. But you get down, who gonna call Ghostbusters? Like
that's awesome. Well, it actually sounds more like that to me now.
Really?
Which is funny.
Now
yeah.
Like all J to me.
Well, that's awesome. That's great.
I know. I'm surprised you know who they are. I didn't know anybody else knew who they were.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, they're a cool band.
They're super way more famous than I think they are.
Well, I mean, I know who they are, but
I only listened to them years ago. I don't know how their music is doing now. I just remember hearing them on Spotify radio, like a live session, and being like, "Oh my God, that song is amazing!"
Yeah.
And I love that one song, and I'm sure they make other good songs, but I'm kind of like that, where when I hear the first good song from a band, I'm like, that's their best song. Don't you correct me, and I will never like another one.
No, they're cool. I actually saw them.
Really?
Yeah, because where I live near Albany, New York, and they have Albany does a lot of like outdoor festivals and things in the summertime, and Alt J played at one of them. I don't know if before the pandemic, so it was like probably 2018 or 19 or something like that, and they were great, and they were really cool. It's a good show. Awesome, yeah, it was really cool. But because they do these like outdoor things, and like 5 bands will play. It's a free concert, and they'll have vendors and stuff. A little outdoor fun party thing. I mean, we do a few of those. Awesome. All right, I found the song.
Okay, perfect.
So you want me to play it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me cue it up here.
It's the right one.
It's the right one.
Okay.
All right. It's gonna be that one.
That is not twing twangy twong twong.
Okay, I gotta. You'll see. Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta share. I gotta do the sharing thing here.
I heard it, but yeah, do the sharing thing. Well, the choo-choo train goes by.
Right, hold on. Is that a real train?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like the fucking Blues Brothers fucking that one apartment where it's like you'll get used to it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Like that.
All right.
Because when that big train goes by, that was actually, I think, just the caboose or the thing with the engine.
Okay, you ready?
You know who it actually reminds me of? The guitar of this song.
Can you hear it? Good. I'll play it till the chorus. I like the chorus. So there,
Yeah.
wait,
See what you're saying about the guitar at the beginning, but
yeah. So well, the whole through the whole thing, the guitar is like, what is it? I don't know. That was like 30 years ago. I gotta figure that out. I think I had a capo on because I think it's like, yeah, it's like
but still, the voice is what I was listening to. And you are right about REM, right? Because aren't they the one that did it reminds me of another song I know. Everybody, the one that's like everybody hurts, everybody.
Oh yeah, that's Everybody Hurts is the name of the song, right?
Yeah, it kind of does remind me of that kind of vibey vibe.
That's cool. Yeah, well, I listened to a lot of REM back then, so you know that because that was like 1989 or 90 right there. That was a long
Yeah,
time.
I still think it's a great song. But okay, back to the point of us.
We should give props on vocals and bass guitars. My buddy Todd Havland, who he and I still these many years later still play together. We do a duo thing all the time, and if we do re-record the song, we'll do it with Todd, so that'll be authentic.
Oh,
And then and on the drums is my buddy Matto D'Ambrosio.
Matto is a cool name.
Yeah, Matto's a cool dude. So there you go.
Very nice.
Right on.
Okay, so what was the point of us telling them that? I think it was
that was about the we were talking about the perception of the whole theory of relativity and the whole your perception of the universe from your perspective and all that business. And then I said, oh well, great examples are the songs like that you and I were doing, and I'd send you a song and I think it sounds like something cool. You tell me it sounds like the Ghostbusters theme. So
right. Well, that is cool though.
Huh?
But the Ghostbusters is cool.
It is cool and one of the biggest hits of all time. So hey, I'm not going to complain about that. But I think it came out cool. The song, it ended up, it's not done yet, but I did some vocals just before we did this show. Before we brought this up, I had just finished them. So, and there and some guitar.
You want to play that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's good yet. I haven't heard it enough. Well, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm not the eye of the beholder.
No, that doesn't even make any sense. So, but do you like the song?
Yes, I do like the song.
And do you think my performance is adequate?
Yeah, I mean, unless you were going for something completely different than what I'm thinking. See, that's the point. That's the point I've been getting to explain with this point is like, as artists, like especially music artists, we're always like thinking, what are people gonna think? Sure. But the point
I think
is,
as humans, we're always thinking that.
You don't know what anyone's gonna think. Why don't you just make what the fuck is coming out of the inside of your brain holes? And just, hope for the best, and just go like, this is pure, and this is like what I feel as a right thing for this, and stop worrying about what other people think.
I know. Well, and now, I mean, as a musician, while I'm doing, that's exactly what I do. I mean, that is exactly what I do all the time when I play. I am completely, I have, no real inhibitions. And, but then, when I'm not playing it, that's when I'm like a human again. You know what I mean? That's when I'm like, oh, Jesus. Then I go from like Jimi Hendrix to Woody Allen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
But like, that's what's so cool about doing like art, right? Like something that's not mathematics or some shit. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, there's some music out there, for my whole life, where I'm like, that is terrible, right? But it's like a famous ass song, and to my brain, it's the worst thing ever, and I would rather listen to that siren for the rest of my life that's going off right now out there. But there are millions and millions of people who love these songs that I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
So it's like, as artists, I think that people who would be probably our normal listeners every week may be always dealing with the fact of like, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if other people will like it. I don't know if I should even be writing music anymore. I mean, I go through those thoughts, you go through those thoughts, but it's like, who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares? And the cool thing about music, especially, maybe all the other art forms, is like if you fuck this one up, as long as it's not a remix of a really famous song, it's forgivable. People will forget that you fucked up your own song after you write another song, or if they steal one of
Sure.
your old songs.
People
Now,
are
if
more
you're
more apt to forget your music than remember it anyway. You know what I mean? They're not gonna hold your mistakes against you.
that's a great point, bro. The spotlight effect. Like
Right.
you're more concerned with like if you don't like someone's song, like you're not gonna sit there for the next like, eternity going, fuck
Right,
that guy.
stew on it. Right.
Fuck-
God, I wish I could tell him how much I hated that song.
Yeah,
Nobody
like I
does that,
mean, for instance, like there are some Justin Bieber songs I really like nowadays. Like his newer
Sure.
shit, fucking good, right? But if I had said that a few years back, I'd be like, fuck that guy, right?
Right,
But then,
right,
like,
yeah.
once you get a certain amount of knowledge into music, like he has or his producers has,
Yeah.
it's better than it was, right? In my opinion, but that's once again just from my point of view. So it's
Yeah.
like if I had sat there and gone, oh nope, never gonna like any song he ever did. If his name is on it, fuck that. Like,
Right.
or I probably wouldn't have liked Justin Timberlake's music, even though like
He's great.
I know that's
He's
my
great.
point.
Yeah.
Like, you would think if I said that right now that I'm a dumbass, like, why wouldn't you like his music? But if you hold on to the things where you're like, oh, he was in the Backstreet Boys
Right.
or
Well,
NSYNC.
I'm glad you brought up Justin Timberlake there because I was going to start to feel bad because I honestly don't think I could. I'm going to sound like an old guy now because I don't think I could tell you a single Justin Bieber song. I don't know. I mean, not a title.
But
I couldn't sing the tune. I don't know any of them.
I do know there's one that was on TikTok last year, probably around this time that I really do like, but I don't know the name again. But it made me go shit. Like his music is quality shit now. When
Cool.
my old opinions, I bet you know the song and you don't even know it's him because I didn't know it was.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I've heard, of course, I've heard Justin Bieber thousands of times, and I know what he's. And yeah, Justin Bieber. I know what he sounds like. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that like his, what he sounds like has never captured me enough to my attention enough to actually for me to retain that information about his music. I don't. So yep, I've heard Justin Bieber, and I know that I know he's very popular, and I think, and a lot of people think he's an excellent songwriter, and he may be. I have no idea. I just know that his songs didn't click with my brain. You know what I mean? I just kind of went whoosh past them. So
sure, whoosh past him. You didn't go fuck that guy. I'm gonna remember that.
No,
boy.
I don't do that with anybody. Yeah, I don't care about that.
And artists, we think, oh God, if I fuck this up, no one's ever gonna forgive me. Like this is my one chance.
That's right.
But in reality, you're right. You probably do know some of his songs nowadays that you don't know that are his songs because your brain doesn't go, let's remember that voice so we can tell that voice to go fuck itself.
That's right.
Hear it. Right. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of point I'm trying to get to. Is like as an artist, if you are an artist and you're watching this, you just fucking give yourself some slack, and you never know who it might resonate. I almost said resonate. Resonate with, and they might like it. So you may be keeping things to yourself that other people might hear and go, damn, dude, that's really good. Like, I think there was one of my songs, or no, it was your song it was another one of your songs where I was like, dude, I love that song. And you were like, really? And I was like, yeah, very good. And you were like, okay. So anyways.
So I don't know. What does that mean? Does that mean I should play the Whirling Dervish song?
Yeah. What's the Whirling Dervish?
That's what it's called. That's the song's name now. Nova is now Whirling Dervish.
Yeah, play that one.
All right. This is
what the fuck is a Whirling Dervish? Did you make up a word again?
No. So in the song, so before we get into it, that would tell the story. So we had this little experiment where I decided, a lot of times when Kilo and I are writing songs together, the way we do it is maybe it'll start with me making up a little riff on the piano or something, and recording a little piece and then giving it to him. And then saying, here you go. And then he takes that, maybe makes a bass line for it, makes some beats, boom, boom. We pass it back and forth. And that's kind of how we do it. But we always kind of start with the audio. So like I'll get a sound and everything, and I'll tell him, okay, this is in the key of A, and it's like 128 beats per minute, blah, blah, blah. And here you go. So this time what I said was, I'll just do, most of the stuff you do if you do a recording with a computer and a keyboard and everything, it's all MIDI before you, apply, before you commit it to a sound. So I just told Kilo I was going to record 4 parts and then give him just the MIDI. So I did the drums, I did the bass, I did some chords on the piano, and I did a lead, a little melody. And I gave those 4 MIDI files and just said, do what you want with it. And it came out as just so cool. Like
And
his
you wouldn't
version.
tell me the tempo or anything, because when you're using MIDI, you don't have to set the tempo because it'll attach to your grid, right?
Yeah.
So I brought it in and it was like, do you want to use the original tempo? And I was like, no. So I didn't know. I thought I was doing it right, which it was like double time, basically the original.
Right.
But so then what happened, Bob?
Well, and then, so now what I'm doing while you're talking here is I'm going to bring it, I'm going to see, I don't know if I'm going to crash my old computer, but I'm going to see if I can bring up Pro Tools while we're doing this. I think we've done it with, I've opened Pro Tools before while we were doing. So, because I want to open up, you haven't even heard the original version of it.
Oh God, I heard
Right.
it on the phone.
Right,
After
right.
I told you Ghostbusters, and you're like, oh.
I'm like, oh, it does. How could that sound like Ghostbusters? It was so funny. So I'm just waiting for Pro Tools to open up here. I can actually share that screen. How about I do that? And then you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, cool. So, can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So yeah, it's called either Whirling Dervish or, oh no, this is the wrong one though. So this is the new one. I don't want this one. Wait, sorry about that. I gotta wait.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted the other one, the original one. So
What's a whirling dervish? Can you explain that to me while we're waiting?
sure, yeah. So the song, the lyrics go I just made up the lyrics kind of. I was driving home. I write a lot of stuff with vocals when I'm driving. I'll just, and I have my little phone and I just kind of hit record. So I was listening to my tracks on this, or to Kilo's tracks, and I was I'm trying to make up some lyrics for it. So I came up with it. And Kilo always jokes, he always wants me to sing like an opera, like a woman. So I was doing that.
When I say that. But
What's that?
I said no, I'm not joking when I
know.
say
I know you're not. Yeah. So anyway, so I was like, all right, so I'll see if I was singing like I was singing really high, girly. And so anyway, I liked what I did. So I think this is the original one. So I when I got home, I started writing lyrics for it, and the lyrics are kind of crazy. I got in this like Halloween mood because Kilo was talking about doing a Halloween song, and I forgot what else. There was another Halloween-y thing kind of going on. So anyway, so I started writing kind of spooky lyrics. So I said, the
Ghostbusters thing was Halloween as well.
Yeah, and the Ghostbusters thing. That's right, exactly. So anyway, so I got in that mood, and so the lyrics are just like she's what is, oh, here the lyrics right here. she moves like a dance hall diva, and then spinning like a whirling dervish, screaming like a banshee witch, and haunted by a ghostly lover.
I now know what a whirling dervish is.
Yeah, whirling dervish. It's like it's a Middle Eastern thing, I think, and it's where they spin and sing. And then a banshee is like an Irish witch or ghost.
Right.
So there you go. So it's all a little, creepy and mystical,
Yes, those are great lyrics, actually.
Well, thank you very much. They're silly. They don't mean anything, but it was fun. All right, I want to see. Let's see if so. All right, I'm sharing this, but I don't remember if I shared the audio. You are sharing the sound. Good. Okay. You want to hear the original?
Yes.
You've never heard it before.
No.
All right, cool. Let me turn. Okay, good. I got it. Oh, undo that. All right, there we go. Hear it?
Not really.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
I do now.
Oh,
Or I did. I
okay.
couldn't, and then I kissed.
Sorry. So that was my original idea. And I was like rushing out the door, and Keela and I were talking, and I was like, I have an hour alone where I can record before I got to go do something else. And so I'm like, I'm going to go do that. So I did. So I just saw whatever I could come up with in that hour, and that was it. And then he never heard that. I just dumped the MIDI and gave him that. And then so Keela came back with something very different. And
Yeah.
so today, what I'll say, actually I'll do it like this. That'd be fun. No, I don't want to. No, don't save anything. Thank you. Now I will open what I did today.
Yes.
It's either called Whirling Dervish or Dancehall Diva or something else. But
very good names.
yeah. And the lyrics are fun. My vocals are ridiculous. And that's the scoop. So we're going to turn that high one down just a little bit, and we'll see what we get. Can you hear it?
No. Not yet. Do you hear it?
I can hear it, yeah.
All right.
You hear it now? Oh, I think it just falls apart here. All right.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. It's gonna be so good. And what's funny is not even you are hearing what I'm hearing in my head of what it's gonna sound like.
Did that work though? The audio? Could you hear it okay?
100%. Not as good as usual.
Oh, well, I could have stopped it and then done it a different
No, because it's not, they don't get a preview all the way.
All right. Well, anyway.
No, what I was gonna say was like, even you, because I'm your producer or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you don't even know what I hear. You think those drums that you did sound like reggae. They don't. They sound metal as shit. Like, so, I mean.
Metal. That's so funny. The whole thing sounds like that's why I sing Dancehall Diva. It sounds like a real Caribbean groove, the whole thing.
Well,
boom, boom.
yeah, I guess the drums are what also remind me of Alt J, the one song that I like by them a lot. Because it's like, they use that like kind of drums like the sample kind of choice that I did.
Yeah.
where it's kind of like very electronic, and then there's real drums as well. So I think it's gonna be a great song, dude.
I think so. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I just don't know about the vocals, but we'll see.
Oh no, I like the vocals a lot.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, anyways, since it is now getting time that the sun is now going away,
oh,
and
okay.
you
Yeah.
won't be
So
able
we
to
should,
see me much.
so we
Very,
should do our questions, is what you're
we
saying.
should do the hour-long question game that it always takes that long.
Well,
So
we don't have an hour this time, so.
I know, but it's my favorite part of the show too. So I'm
Right.
always sitting here thinking like, how can I get to that point? So, ooh, it's a cat.
I know. He broke in.
He broke in. That sounds dangerous.
It's just, it doesn't matter. But I got a little door that they can get in, but I block it off when I do the stream so they don't come and jump on my lap, because that's what he's gonna do now. And
Yes.
so anyway, so
But
go
if
ahead.
see, if my dog decided he was gonna come and jump on my lap, then we would all go crashing down, probably the whole porch. So,
Yeah.
so it is now time for the question time, and we appreciate you listening to the porch of static science theater.
The
Porch of
science
Static
episode, science
Theater.
edition.
Yeah. So, Bob, why don't you go first?
Okay, I'm going first.
If you're not familiar with what we're doing, because this is your first time watching these two idiots with their shenanigans, we usually we have a guest, and then we play this game with the guest so that you get to know kind of more about the artist in their industry life and in their real life. So we each get to ask an industry question, we each get to ask a like non-industry question, and we have to answer our own questions. So technically you're getting four answers, or yeah, four answers out of each.
Right.
There you go.
Okay. All right,
Explain
all right.
that this time.
You ready? All right. So my question is, I'm gonna make sure I have my answer ready. But yeah, so my question is what was the first song you heard when you woke up this morning? I guess this is a music question.
I didn't go to sleep last night.
Well, whenever you woke up, the last time you woke up, what was the first song you heard?
Okay, so I did take a nap. Right before the show, I slept for an hour. And so if I sound goofy, you guys, that's why. So it's actually, I'm trying to remember the name of the song, which I think is funny because this song just happened to be on my playlist. My YouTube playlist. It was just, I don't know, it was an older song by the band Static X, which is you know who they are?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh fuck, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So from like their first album, not when they were like, we're cool, and people were like, they're cool, but like before that, when they were like, I was very young when that came out. And I remember being like this young little skater kid, like, and then I like showed my friends this, and they were like, why? Why had the devil taken over your soul, your heart?
Because they were like punk electronic, right?
They're like considered, I guess they're like industrial metal,
right. Yep.
I don't know.
Kind of 9 Inch Nails kind of style thing.
Anyways, that was it. And I haven't heard that song for years, or that album for years. So it was just kind of interesting that happened. Is that the industry question?
It doesn't have to be. That could be the regular person question. How about that?
Okay, what's your answer?
My answer would be the article I was writing for my blog today was a song called Say Sorry by an artist named Rose Nay. So there you go. That's
Rose Nay.
Rose Nay.
Is that like kind of like rose, but with the nay?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that is the answer to like
I feel like I look like
the origin of his name.
The creepy teenager on Omegle that's like,
I feel like I'm watching the Blair Witch Project or something.
So funny. Okay. Is my turn for a random question?
Yeah. You have to ask a question now.
Random. Random. What is the last comedy movie you watched?
Last comedy movie.
I don't know my answer, but
Well, I am a horrible OCD creature of habit, and I watch the same things all of the time. And well, and so one of them, so an extreme example is the
So
last comedy
right.
movie. The last comedy movie. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, it's just bright to my eye. That's all.
Um,
Like,
the
no,
answer
don't show your eyes.
the answer would be Repo Man. Repo Man is an 80s punk classic. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I've watched it 1,000 times, and I fell asleep watching it just a couple nights ago.
That's-
So there you go. That's my answer.
Now I have to answer my own question, like I came up with a good question that I knew the answer to. Last comedy movie. Shit, bro. That was a dumb question.
I thought it was okay.
I know, but for me, because I don't watch movies very often,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. It was this, I think it was like one of these recent new movies with Sandra Bullock in it, where like her and then the dude from that one movie, Magic Mike, that dude from Magic Mike
You talk
and
about Deadpool. You talk about Ryan Reynolds.
no, what?
Brian. Oh, Channing Tatum. You're talking.
Yeah, Channing Tatum and her were in a movie, and he was like, what is that movie called? It's an Amazon exclusive. You should look look up. It's a great movie, guys.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, it really is hilarious. It's very fun.
All right. I'll look it up. I'll look up IMDb here, and we'll see what we get. I mean, it's
Probably came out like 6 months ago, but still.
right. Well, yeah. I mean, like, I'll look up Sandra Bullock. It'll have everything she has, including the most recent one, which would be The Lost City. Oh, it's the actress.
Yes, that's it.
It was called The Lost
That's it.
City.
Yes,
Okay.
that's it. It's hilarious. It's so funny, and it's like it makes you feel good on the inside.
Oh, well, that's nice. Oh, yeah, there you go. Lost City with Channing Tatum. Right.
It's really good. Okay, your turn for the industry question.
Okay.
Before I get lost in the dark, and then you have to come save me because apparently I might get lost on my own porch on the 4th floor.
Mhm. Okay. I'll ask an obvious, the standard, an old standard, but it's a good one. I'll limit it to one album, and because you just said lost, when you said lost, it made me think of being lost on a deserted island. So,
This is a good question.
one single album that you could have with you, one album that you could take with you,
album,
but only one album. That's it, that you could have on your desert island.
Whole album.
Whatever it is. Mhm.
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket by Blink-182.
Very nice.
Not only because I wanted to say jacket on my own live stream.
I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
That is definitely the album. I won't get sick of it. I can be sad or excited or sad or excited.
Right on.
Both are the only human emotions that should exist. So yes, that's absolutely my answer. You should have known it was going to be a Blink-182 answer.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer my own question now. I mean, like, I would first, there are a couple that I would gravitate immediately toward. Like, it'd be like Beastie Boys, Hendrix, the Beatles, the Stones, Nirvana, somewhere in there. So it'd be one of them, but
which one?
Maybe, but then again, like Van Morrison, Astral Weeks, like that would be. I mean, that's like listening to or freaking. You know what it is? I got it. It would be Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. That is one of the most beautiful albums ever made.
I don't know if I know that.
It's an old jazz album. It's a real classic jazz album from it's like a perfect era of jazz. It's when it's in the CBS era, and they're recording in these like real like, famous Columbia or CBS studios in New York City. And the guy that used to produce those records of like literally the most successful jazz producer other than Quincy Jones ever is Teo Macero. And he's from here. He's from where I'm sitting right now, from my hometown.
From your bedroom,
my bedroom, but he's from this
from
town.
your own house, bro.
He's from Glens Falls, New York. Teo
That's
Macero. He's a
awesome,
legendary jazz producer, and he's legendary specifically for this era of jazz that he was producing. And this album, this Miles Davis album, it's just perfection all around. So there you go. That'd be my choice.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So your turn to ask that question.
You want me to ask that exact question?
No. So your turn to ask
My turn to ask an industry question.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a really good one that I have not used before, or something. Let me think. Give me 1 second.
All right. Well, maybe while you're thinking.
What's one sound? Okay, because we make sound stuff, obviously. There's a cat.
Yeah.
One sound in like normal day life that like maybe other people might find annoying, like I don't know, a car horn or something, but you find it very beautiful and like musical in a sense.
Wow. I don't know. What do you think, Cece? This is Cece. He doesn't care about what we're doing or what I'm trying to think about.
Or does he?
Yeah. So this is a sound that I like, but maybe most people wouldn't like.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. Yeah, so I can kind of have an idea of what where you're coming from.
I recently heard the sound of a black hole from a NASA thing, right? That I think most people who's watching this right now
Right.
have recently heard in the news. We now know the audio of the sound of a black hole, which is not actually the black hole, whatever. I'm not going to get into the techniques of it, but everyone else is like, this is terrifying. It sounds like we're never supposed to hear it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it sounds beautiful and I love it. It's great. So that was where the question was coming from. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. That's a good answer to a very difficult question.
Well, I'm sure there are things that like.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I was going to say more like maybe take it a little bit broader, right? And say like, or specific to music, but broader to more than just me, right? Like the idea that like that we have, just like we have tastes that we like that other people dislike. There are sounds and styles of music and everything that some think are repulsive and the others think is beautiful. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that can be anything, you like we always joke because I like hip hop, especially old school hip hop. And I always joke because I'm, middle-aged white guy and it's kind of goofy that I know about anything about old school hip hop, but I do, and I love it. And, and a lot of people would not agree. And a lot of people that look and act like me would be like, no, I hate that. That just doesn't even sound like music. Like I know a lot of old like dudes like musicians that like that are like kind of hometown musicians that don't just don't like hip hop, you know what I mean, and they consider it not music. So
right, which then
I disagree with them, you know what I mean.
Right.
That's my point.
Right. So you're saying the music itself would judge you if it saw you, and it'd be like, I don't think music would like him, but I do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right.
You flipped it on its head.
Okay.
Good job. Okay, bro. Well, I think we had a very successful, productive Porch of Static evening today.
Porch of Static, indeed.
Hopefully someone got some kind of benefit out of the ramblings of me having slept 1 hour in the last like 28 hours. So I appreciate you guys listening to me talk about what I'm sure I will listen back to and go, wow, I'm not making sense at all. But in the moment I thought I was, So thank you for
I think
watching.
you're just fine, man.
And go check out the new video, not video, but the new video of King Matt Black. Like oh yeah, we should explain that. For the next few weeks and on, we're going to be putting out like Thursday music or whatever, where we like put kind of a video background of one of the songs that's out on our label and just putting it up on YouTube, since you fun people have not gotten to hear half of the songs that are on our label on YouTube. So
Right on. There you go.
be prepared and go
Be
listen to the
prepared.
last two.
Right on, man.
Okay, guys. And
All right.
and bye.
Adios.
Bye.